Hey, what's going on, kings and queens? Today I have a super special guest with me. My name is Ceally Smith, and she's a true powerhouse, public speaker, coach, mentor, and hempreneur. And she's definitely changing the game. I've known her for years now. It's awesome how you talk to her one-on-one. So welcome, Ceally. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jordan. We've been connected now for 2.5, almost 3 years. And I've just loved watching your journey, so I'm super honored to be on your show, so thank you.
No problem. Likewise, I'm so happy to have you here. And I'm kind of curious, what got you started on this whole hempreneur journey yourself?
Well, it's a great question. So back in 2017, my son was born in 2012, and he had some medical issues. And we just kind of went on a journey with him to figure out what was going on. We found out a lot of things, and in that there was a lot of supplements and a lot of alternative things that we did with him. And how Hempreneur, the original Hempreneur, came about was my first. I had a love of cannabis already prior, and when I say a love of it, it was more of like the medicinal benefits of it. I actually am not a user of cannabis. I use it only in the modality of if like I'm sick or if I need it for mood or anything like that, but I'm not a daily user. But his dad was a daily user, and so I had a love of cannabis because of what it's done for me and my family. And my mom had battled cancer, and she used cannabis to help her with her eating, to create an appetite while she was going through chemo. So original Hempreneur really came from just my experience with cannabis and hemp. And then after my son started having really great results with CBD oil, I decided that I really wanted to be an educator in the space, because there was a lot of misleading information and a lot of people didn't really know a lot about hemp. They just thought it was a drug, a Schedule I drug. So I just felt like, this was a great opportunity to just educate the world about hemp and cannabis. So yeah, that's what brought it all together.
I love that. That's just super inspiring story. I'm happy to hear your son's doing better, taking CBD.
Yeah.
And do you think it was a hard transition to kind of get into that field with the whole stigma behind CBD and cannabis and so forth?
Yeah. In 2017, I'm in the heart of America. I'm on the Missouri side, but I'm in Kansas City. And Kansas really pushed back. So, and since I'm kind of right on the line of the state, I just decided to rev up my events here in Missouri. So I was getting a lot of people from the Kansas side coming over to my events.
Wow.
To be educated. And yeah, there was a lot of backlash. I mean, I got a lot of people that thought I was giving my son drugs. I was threatened to be reported to DFS, which is Division of Family Services. I was kind of even, looked at by the family. On some parts of the family, they thought, what is Ceally doing? But they saw such a positive difference in him that they were like, oh, something's got to be with this. He's not having behavior issues at school. He's able to focus more. He's not having, these flare-ups, as we call it, in what he was dealing with. So with that, and with the anecdotal information that I was able to retrieve from PubMed.gov, which there's over 100 different clinical studies that have been done on this stuff, people just don't know what they don't know. And that's okay, because that's where someone like me that loves to educate, loves to inform, loves to research. You have people like me that want to just help and just say, hey, did you know this? And if they go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Then they, put that, backlash or feeling like they have to get mad at you about it. But I mean, I still have my fair share. It's definitely a lot less than it was at the very beginning. Back when I started, which was 2017, and I know that it was worse for people prior to 2017, but I really feel like we're really coming together on this. A lot of people want more information. They know that it's good for them, but they just don't really know what it's good for. So yeah, I mean, I would agree. We used to have a lot more backlash. Now we don't have as much, and I just feel like it's going to get better.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny you mentioned the Kansas. I'm from Lawrence, Kansas. And I was in trouble all the time for cannabis back in the day before I got, a more focused attitude about life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was clear you mentioned that. And do you what are some of the main benefits you find in CBD and so forth?
So some major benefits, probably the number one reason why people even use CBD or a variety of cannabis, depending on what they are looking for, but majority of people use it for moods. So if they have any anxiousness or any different levels of stress, that is probably the number one reason why people use CBD. If you're using the THC side of things, sometimes that can cause anxiousness. So for people that already are kind of on that cusp, we always suggest that you would try CBD over the THC products.
Mm-hmm.
And again, CBD's main benefit is that it feeds a major system in our body. So the major system is called an endocannabinoid system, and it's an ECS system for short. It's one of the major 12 systems in our body. Our body actually needs CBD. Okay. So you can actually get CBD from flaxseed and some other different plants, but the best source to get CBD is from the cannabis plant. And if it's extracted correctly from the plant, then you're going to get a high quality product with what you're looking for. You're going to have high quality results. So it's important to find a company that actually is high quality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I've seen interviews before where people taking too much cannabis and getting paranoid about that. So could you bring it up? Are there a lot of companies out there outside of yours for CBD and stuff?
So there's so many different options, and that's where it gets overwhelming for people. A lot of people don't really know where to start. So that's kind of where a lot of people come to me and they're like, all right, Ceally, you've done your research and I know you well enough to know that you've picked a good product or products, or what do you got for me? Because I don't want to do all the work that you've done. So I went through a bad experience with my son with CBD products or CBD product. Tried a local product here in Kansas City and he had an allergic reaction to it.
Wow.
And because of that allergic reaction, it made me do more an investigation of why he had an allergic reaction to it. And it wasn't because of CBD. It was actually because of the fillers and the additives that were in the product. And so once I found that out, I had to go through every single product if we looked at CBD. So I was kind of really shocked with CBD because everything I kept looking kept coming up that it had fillers, additives. It didn't even have, labs to show that it even had CBD in it. And I'm spending $80+ on a product. And at the time, I'm a single mom. So it was I'm very frugal when it comes to how I spend money. Me and my kids, we still shop at the thrift store. I mean, I still wear clothes from the thrift store just because they're still good quality clothes. I've always been a frugal person, but if I'm going to get a quality product, I want to make sure that it's really what it says it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it came down to choosing a product, I had to really do my research. And when I came across some products, I realized, oh my gosh, this industry, there's a lot of fakes in the industry. There's a lot of people that are just slapping labels on bottles and calling it CBD. And people just trust it because it says it on the bottle and they buy it. If it doesn't have a third-party lab or an in-home lab, then you really shouldn't trust a medicinal product if it can't prove what it says it is.
Yeah, that's a really good point. What separates your brand and your products from other companies out there? I know what you're doing is super amazing for a lot of people already.
The main thing is we're educating. So, we're not going to make the decision for you. We're just going to help you in figuring out what best fits your needs. So we're not doctors, we're not physicians, and we're not going to pretend that we are either. We're going to just make suggestions based on what our other consumers and our customers have used. And we have a page of over 97,000 people that have left reviews of our products. And our products come back with a 90-day money-back guarantee. So anybody that tries our products, you can make sure that it really works for you and that we have third-party labs. And the difference is we're educating the consumer so that you really feel that you know what you're getting into and you know what you're buying. You have a relationship with it versus just going to a store and buying something and, you know, not being able to share that community of testimonial or what it's done for you. And we also give back. Every time you purchase with us, we actually give you money back on everything you purchase so that you're able to buy more product later. And then, you know, we also have an opportunity attached to it for people that are like entrepreneurs like us that love helping people. And we love educating people about different things that could work for, you know, the kings and queens out there that want to have that empire. We have that as a tool for us entrepreneurs, you know. So a lot of people are like, oh, is this all that you do? And it's like, no, I actually own a consulting firm and I also own a meal prepping company. This is just one area that I like to help other people in. So I'd say that the biggest difference is that we're a very evolved spiritual company that realizes that this is not a one size fits all, but we do make sure that we educate and that we do put community around our product so that you can be reassured that anything you do purchase comes back with a money back guarantee, and that also you could be compensated if you decided that you wanted to join our community.
I love that. It's all about being ethical.
Absolutely.
So that kind of set with my next question. Like, one, I think you have the powerhouse, like the upgraded version of like Weeds, the TV show, where you kind of connect your life and everything. And like, how do people get involved with, you know, your product and your services that you're going on right now?
So simply, they just have to be referred. So you have to know somebody that's in the business to be referred. As far as purchasing product, you do have to purchase from a representative. And a representative like myself and Jordan. Jordan is a person that all of you know is an entrepreneur, and he is someone that loves to help people. So he saw that and he was like, yeah, I want to be a part of that community. I want to be a part of that conscious entrepreneur movement. And I want to be able to help people in that area. So if you wanted to get in contact with product, or if you wanted to be a part of the opportunity, the movement, the community, and you wanted to hang out with me and Jordan, you know, you would just contact Jordan and he would be able to help that. And then also he could put us in a group message where we could all talk together.
Definitely. More about this coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Because Ceally has amazing stories, so we have a lot more questions to go.
Yeah.
And like, you're welcome. So is this like your biggest passion, or like what drives you the most on like what you're doing for entrepreneur wise?
Well, I mean, it all started with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have children, something innately just blossoms inside of you. You know, I had a really rough childhood growing up, and a lot of when I had children, it was like I didn't want them to ever have to experience what I had to go through. But I also wanted to show them that anything that they put their mind to and they wanted, they could have. And that was something that, you know, at the beginning, it wasn't easy for me. And I don't think it's easy for anyone. But for me, I really wanted to prove to myself first so that I could prove to them. So that was like my main focus at the beginning. But now that I kind of feel like I've arrived at that pinnacle, that platform, I had a lot of people that I relate to, just like you, Jordan. Like, I relate to you. You're somebody in my circle that I had a lot of people that were like, Ceally, you need to start doing coaching. Like, you've gone through a lot. Your story is really amazing. Like, what do you feel about being like a coach, or could you coach me? So I kind of feel like I kind of got thrown into it at first because I was really scared. I was like, oh, but what if I let all these people down? Like, how can I arrive when I feel like I haven't really arrived? But again, that just took my own mindset to show myself, okay, I'm going to try it and do it. And then just doing it and kind of learning as you go. Like, it's about the journey, not the destination. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's so beautiful about life is it's not supposed to be this rush to the finish line. Like, we're not all trying. Why are we all trying to run to our deathbeds? Have fun, you know, like have fun helping people, be ethical, having fun with people, you know, do what really fulfills you. And so not only does business fulfill me, It challenges me to where that drive just kind of wakes up with me every day, where it's kind of like I'm very competitive with myself versus being competitive with other people. And it's like, okay, let's see what you can get yourself into now, Ceally. Let's see what happens. And I'm in a new phase in my life right now. I just moved into my house and
Congrats.
Settled in here, and I've just started a coaching program. Well, I've started working with a coach just recently about self-love, and I offer conscious entrepreneur coaching. And everything's about just moving along and having fun with it. So my drive has really came from just within me and just wanting to be the better version of Ceally every day.
I can totally, relate to that. That's how I live my life as well. And it's like how you really, have fun in life. It's all about enjoying the process, like you said before. And I feel like, the imposter syndrome is huge for that.
Yeah.
It's about being like one step ahead of next yourself. Or if you one step ahead of other people in that aspect, help somebody else out.
Oh yeah, I agree completely.
And for some context, for people out there who don't know who you are yet, what is some of your story in the past that you're talking about?
So, I come from a line of growing up with two parents that had me when they were teenagers. I was raised by my grandparents. My grandfather passed away at 11, so we were living in the country at the time, and then at that time we were moved to the city. My dad was sent to prison. My mom battled breast cancer all at the same time. My grandpa, it was just like all at once when I was 11. And went through a lot of adversity at a very young age where there wasn't a lot of stability in my life. So, the odds are really against me because of also just the financial background of my family. We didn't come from money. They couldn't afford to put me in college or any of those things. My grandma took the last bit of her savings to put me in private school because we lived in the inner city, and she knew that the inner city's school wasn't that great. And she was afraid that putting me in that school would actually make it worse for me. So that was probably the best investment she ever did for me, was putting me into a private school where it really did give me more of the structure and the stability that I needed in that time. But outside of that, I grew up, got married, had kids young. 19 and 21 is when I had children, or 20 and 22 is when I had my son and daughter, and got married when I was 23. And then I was divorced by the age of 25, 26. So there was a lot of just ups and downs through my whole entire life. So the odds were really against me on being an entrepreneur and being successful at that. Because typically most people that are successful, there's a lot of conditioning that happens in the beginning, early years of growing up. But that's not always the case. We do always hear, the people like myself and like Jordan that really kind of drive themselves out of that and really make no excuses. So those aren't actually things that have, those things happen, but they don't define who I am as a person. And once I realized that, I just realized, like, in reading all of these other success stories of other people, like in sports and, that have became famous, like Bruno Mars and those kind of things. Like, I really clung to those and was like, they didn't let those, that upbringing really define who they were. So I just kept focusing, like, okay, what do I want to be? What kind of avatar do I want to be when I grow up? And even though I at the time I would have told you, oh, I'm grown up. Now I look back and I'm like, I'm not grown up at all. I'm 31 years old with 2 kids. That's like a big kid at heart, really. Like, I love to make people laugh. I love to have a good time. I love to help people when it comes to their suffering, because I've suffered and I came on the other end of it, and I know what it feels like to suffer alone. But I also know what it's like to suffer alone and to come on top of that, to arise and not blame anyone. And that's kind of what I love to do with people, is I love to help them really transition outside of that suffering where they're relying on themselves versus other people.
Yeah, taking that full ownership.
Yeah, taking full ownership.
I cannot agree with you more. And I'm a huge believer, all past or even not present right now doesn't define who we are. We can always be changing. Like you say, Paul, it's you versus you at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You're spot on, Jordan.
So what does success look like to you? What does the ideal success mean for Ceally?
I think that's something that's different for person to person, but for me, where success lies to me at the beginning of my journey of being an entrepreneur, I felt that success meant owning a company and being able to pay your bills. Like, I thought that was success. And then, once I reached that, it was like, okay, but I want more. Like, this is obviously, I'm making money now. So success for me right now is being able to be emotionally intelligent, to continue to work on your weaknesses, to know your strengths, and to, be that light for other people, so that when they have those dark moments, or they have those, those moments of needing to find something that they can relate to. I think that's really where success for me right now lies, is being the light for others in times of darkness. And especially with what we're going through right now with the coronavirus. And there's a lot of uncertainty going on for a lot of people. And, where that lies with them has completely changed in this past 60 days. So for me right now, success is all about with oneself, with, your success for, to be a better person.
I love that. So like outside of, getting to our system of the CBD fulfillment opportunities, what else can people do right now to, be empowered, to be that light for other people, you think?
Well, so The 4 Agreements is a book that I recommend to everybody. And The 4 Agreements is a very quick read. You could read it in 2 hours in one day, or break it up throughout the day, however you want. That's a tool that I like buy. I've bought like a bundle of them, and then like when people come over to my house, or if I see them, I just hand it to them. Because I think if we keep it simple, you're going to have a lot more fun. When you start getting too stretched out thin, or when you've got too many projects, you really have to find who you are as a person. And if the person or the opportunity or the products don't align with who you are as a person, then you shouldn't do it. And I'll be the first, and I've told people, yeah, I don't think this product is for you, or I don't think the opportunity is for you. I'm not desperate, or Jordan's not desperate, the company's not desperate. We're in business, of course, but we're conscious business owners, where we know that we have to meet people where they're at, and you have to really know a little bit more about yourself before you can make that decision. And if you can't make that decision on your own, me and Jordan are here to help you, facilitate and help you with that.
Definitely. Every step of the way. And then how you found throughout your experience doing this for so long, like, is it an ideal person that's good for this kind of career or kind of opportunity, or like does it matter too much?
I think it's that's a really good question. Ask me in a different way.
Yeah, so like how you discovered so far, like, are there some people who excel really, really good and really rapidly at this kind of opportunity versus people who are like kind of skidding by while they're doing it?
That's a really good question. I have people that do it both.
Yeah.
I have people that are literally stay-at-home moms that make almost seven figures with our company. And I have moms and dads, and I mean, it doesn't even matter, male, female, we have transgenders. I mean, like, there's everybody in this company. It just depends on what they're doing. So like, we have people that come in and they're like, I just want to make an extra 500 with this company, because it aligns with what I'm doing personally in my life, and I know some friends and family that would benefit from the product. And they're making, $500 to $1,000, and it helps them with whatever they're doing in life. Or we've got people that are like all in, and they're making 6-7 figures with this company. I being one of them, I was one of their top 7. Now there's 11 that are 7-figure earners in the company, but I was one of the first 7 in the company, and that was a great honor to be able to. I didn't even know I was until when I went to the convention, and then they announced my name, and I was like, what? That was a really, really humbling experience, honestly, because it's like I knew that I did, but I just, I didn't come for the award. I came for the morale of the people and the experience, and we had so much fun, and it was like I got to meet, but I got to hear Les Brown. I got to sit in front row and hear Les Brown. Bob Proctor, who was the host for The Secret, got to see him front row and center. So I went there to grow myself. I didn't necessarily go there for the award, but the award was the bonus. So it's such a good question, Jordan, because there's not a one size fits all. There's some people that come in here and want to make some money. There's some people that want to come in here and make a lot of money. But I will say one thing about our community that is different than any other community is that we want to help people. Like, genuinely, we want to help people. And that's why we have been successful, is because we've taken our own needs and put them aside and have been able to help enough people to get where they want, that naturally it helped us get where we wanted to go. And so, we have in-between people that make good money, but they don't do this full-time. People do it part-time and make good money. I have one girl that literally has invested maybe 1 hour per week, and she makes $20,000 a month with this company.
That's incredible.
So there's not a one size fits all. It is incredible. It's completely changed her life. It's completely changed her family's life. She's been able to give back so much. And if we have that mentality of just helping a little bit, you don't have to pull out your whole wallet and give all that time and all of the money and the effort. If we just help a little bit, it's going to stretch out. It goes into the community, goes into the economy, and we're able to help each other, and we're all less stressed out. We have way more fun all being on the island, not stressed out. That's how I explain our world. It's kind of like one big island floating in the universe. Well, and, that's kind of my journey with this all is, I'm just meeting people where they're at, seeing how I can help them in their businesses or where they're at in their life, and not having an expectation for them to have to be where I'm at. It's taken me 10 years to get where I'm at, but every day I wake up, there's a drive of how I can compete with myself. So, great question. That one kind of stooped me because I haven't had someone ask me that question ever.
Really? Well, I think you answered it super well. I think you gave a huge gold nugget too. It's I've been following you for years now. That's one thing about you that really stands out. You're always trying to help other people and be empowering. I remember when you bought my first book, even she made a picture of that, and you sent me a gift of the CBD afterwards. And that's one way how you really helping other people, and why people want to work with you so much. The way you give and always trying to be there for other people is incredible.
Yeah, I really appreciate that book too. That actually was one of the books that I read before I even reached this success. Great book, by the way.
Thank you.
And I've actually even gifted it to some other people, and I have them sign inside of it after they get done reading it, and then they give it back to me. So yeah, I absolutely love your book, by the way. And I know that you came out with a second book, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to purchase that.
I'll sign it for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you. And what has been the biggest success story you've seen so far in terms of health benefits?
Well, the biggest success story I'd have to say is my son.
Yeah.
He was 5 years old when we started him with CBD, and he's 8 years old now. And my son was diagnosed last June with autism, unspecified anxiety, and ADHD. And when I was a child, I was diagnosed ADHD when I was around 7 or 8, and I was heavily medicated from the ages of 8 to about 12 to 13, where at one point I was on 6 different antipsychotic medications. Wow. As a child. And so my developing brain and just kind of how I developed, it really it really held me back, I would say. And people will look at me now and be like, how could you say that? But in my personal life, so I'll be very raw with you guys. You know, yes, I'm very successful when it comes to business, but when it comes to relationships, I'm a single woman for a reason. I have commitment issues, I have codependent issues, and I have insecurities. A lot of it has to do with the trauma that I had as a child. And so, like, when people talk about success stories with this product, mine is still developing over time. I take CBD every day. It helps me release and deal with these trauma wounds that I've dealt with for a long time. And I'm doing therapy, and I have coaching, and I have these modalities I work with, but I'm 100% all natural. I don't take any pharmaceuticals. I drink lots of water. I eat really healthy. I meditate. I do yoga. These are all things that are helping me move through that trauma as I evolve through it. But the biggest success story that I would say is with my son. You know, we started him before he had those diagnoses. So prior to those diagnoses, the doctor even said, I wouldn't even diagnose him autistic, but until I saw his prior history, like his past, you know, medical history, that's what made me do it. She said, because when she evaluated him, the autistic specialist, she said he didn't have any autism. So what I will say with this is that it's not a cure-all. It's not something you're going to take and it's just going to fix things. It's going to help you transform over time. So wherever you're at today, it's going to help aid in the process of where you want to go. And that is what I love about cannabis and CBD is it's a guide. It's a tool for your toolbox. It's not everything. It's just a part of what you're currently doing in the space that you're doing it in. And that's why it's been so transformational for not just for my son, but for myself, but for, you know, hundreds of thousands of other people that we have. And that community, it goes back to just meeting that person where they're at. You're not going to take something and it's not going to be like, oh, you just are going to have amazing benefits. You're going to take it. You're going to feel amazing. And then it's not going to work as much. And then you're going to be like, what's going on? Does it not work as well? No, it just means you're evolving and you can take a break on the product, work on something else. And then when you're running into, maybe you're having head pains or growing pains or you're evolving, that's when you pull that bottle back out and you're like, oh, I remember when you helped me this last time. I know you're going to be able to help me again. And so that's what it is. It's just like a book. It's just like Jordan's books. You're not going to get up and you're not going to read it every month. You're going to read it. You're going to put it down. You're going to suggest it to somebody because it helped you through something. And then if you get stuck, you're going to pick that book back up and be like, I remember that time when I read Jordan's book and it helped me through this, this, and this. So again, it's just a tool.
That's an amazing answer. I love that.
Yeah. Well, I try.
You did a great job at it. And I also love how authentic you are as well. So thank you for saying more of your story with us too.
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate you just inviting me on here. I actually haven't done a live since I've changed my hair color. And it's grown down a little bit too. I mean, I've done my own lives, but I haven't done like an interview live in a really long time. So I felt really good about this one. I was like, man, I'm so happy Jordan is like the one that's like the one to get me back in after this whole coronavirus thing. So I really appreciate your show. I definitely have seen some of your episodes that you do. And I just love your authenticity as well and just like what you're doing for your community.
Thank you so much. It means a lot coming from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that there's any like main elements that CBD helps the most with, or something, you know, people like who have different alignments to be using it for?
So, like I said, I'm not a physician or a doctor, so none of the products that we recommend are FDA approved. So if you are on any prescription medication or if you have any chronic illnesses, it's always best to get back with your doctor about anything that we suggest. But we do have a lot of people with chronic illnesses and issues that have suggested that they've seen a lot of benefits from such as fibromyalgia, anxiety disorders, people with insomnia, or not insomnia, or insomnia. Yep, that's what I meant. And then, I mean, just the list goes on. Anything that really has to do with neurological or physical. So we've got a lot of people that have dealt with like chronic pain. CBD could be really beneficial for that. Studies have suggested that it's really beneficial for those kind of things. So we have to keep in mind when we're going through something physical, our mind is not really able to go through it with us because our mind is focusing on that issue. So when you can help the body aid in calming down, feeling more relaxed, not having pain, those kind of things, your mind can focus on more of the deeper, bigger intellectual things that you're really kind of wanting to get into. So if your body has inflammation, if you're having chronic pain, chronic illnesses, those kind of things, you're not really living. You're just, coasting. Yes, good word. And kind of just, striving to survive versus thriving in those moments. And that is why I love CBD so much, is because it really does help a lot of people kind of come down from being in that fight or flight mode all the time. And you're not going to get high with this product. You're not going to feel like you're in the 70s. Yeah, absolutely. So people have asked me, they're like, well, Ceally, am I going to get high? And I'm like, no, you're not going to get high. If you want to get high, you're going to have to find a THC product. Most of our products are all THC free. We do have a product called Full Spectrum, which has 0.03% THC in it. It's not even enough for you to even feel the effects of being high. It does have a synergistic effect where it's going to change a little bit of your brain chemistry, but in the positive way, just like a nootropic does. Or something of that nature. When you're taking something that is beneficial and has a neurofactor benefit to it, you are going to feel enlightened. You are going to feel kind of more uplifted in moments throughout your day. And this is what I say to that. If you're going through life on coasting, like Jordan said, or you're just on autopilot, you have nothing to lose when it comes to trying a product like ours. You have nothing to lose, because if it's only going to benefit you in helping you pull out of that and making you feel more, just more benefits throughout the day in whatever you're doing, then that alone is in more weight than gold, because that's just not how life is supposed to be experienced. It's supposed to be experienced beautifully, and you're supposed to have fun, and it's about the journey, not the destination, because we're all not in this big rush to get to our deathbed. We're in a big rush to accomplish things, but if you're not having fun accomplishing those things, then when you look back, you're going to go, why did I not take the time to smell the roses while I was getting to it? Because you're going to have more meaningful relationships. You're going to have more meaningful moments in your life where those reflections are going to bring you a lot of fulfillment. And that's where life is really at. And that's why I believe in these modalities, such as mindset training and using the right supplements with each person. Not everyone can take CBD. It's very rare that anybody can't take it. I think I've met maybe probably 2 people out of the 3 years that I've done this that were allergic to hemp. 2 people, and we've done over 600,000 customers. So, I mean,
all odds.
the odds are not in your favor to be allergic to hemp. But it does happen. Some people are allergic to it, and it's okay. There's other ways of getting CBD in your body, and those ways are not as beneficial as ours, because we derive it from the main source, which is cannabis. We derive it from the hemp plant. We don't derive it from the medical cannabis side. We derive it from the more of the industrial hemp side. So that, because there are some variations of CBD where you could take CBD and you will feel high. But our product does not do that to you.
Thanks for the clarification. You were saying to success in life is little things done over and over again, so it adds up to some huge thing that's not even possible. And we never regret the things we did do, but things we did not do. So don't let this be one of the times you regret not taking the opportunity on trying a product, meaning selling, and moving forward with this opportunity.
Yeah.
How you?
Oh yeah, keep going. Sorry, I was just thinking.
Have you discovered like any adverse effects from the CBD products?
Yes. So if you take too much of it, you could possibly get a headache. So what we tell you is we want you to start low and slow. We want you to try just a couple drops, and we want you to just work up over time. This is not something that you need to just be taking a bottle and like chugging it and then wash all away my problems. That's not how it works. So low and slow, we suggest 1 to 2 drops and work up to 20 drops if needed. And we go based on weight. So I'm a 125-pound, 5'2" petite woman, and I'm up to a full dropper now. But I take a full dropper just because of where I'm at currently with my stage of trauma therapy that I've been doing. So when I do like NLP therapy or EMDR, I notice that I have to take more of it because I don't want to be in an emotional state where I can't maintain my businesses and I can't maintain being a mother. So it doesn't numb me. It doesn't make me feel like a zombie. It just keeps me kind of in a I would say, in a euphoric state of not feeling high, not feeling codependent on the product. And again, like prior to me doing all of this trauma therapy, I didn't take it. I didn't take it every day. I took it maybe every 1 or 2 weeks when I was, going through my menstrual cycle or those kind of things, or if I had a headache or something. But I'm taking it more frequently right now because I am doing the work. I am evolving as a human and as a conscious entrepreneur. I need the tool right now. So, it really kind of depends. We want you to start off low and slow at first. And I've been on the product now for 3 years. So I know that. So if I've taken a break, I start off low and slow before I amp up to a full dropper.
Yeah.
So it really just, starting low and slow is the way I start every single person, even if they've taken a break from it.
Okay. So like life almost, like, it's the marathon, not a sprint. Overdo it too fast.
Yeah.
And you're talking about, success with your business and for your kids and stuff. I read that, the CBD industry is a billion-dollar industry coming up pretty soon. So what are your future plans on moving forward with that?
Well, I have been able to start a non-for-profit foundation through that. And that's been pretty exciting because we're able to give back to the community and to the unfortunate. So currently still working on, it's a work in progress, just like any project. Working on building on homes for homeless vets and also homeless battered men and women. So I know that we've all focused on a lot of battered women and children, but there's also battered men and children out there, which is not a statistic a lot of people talk about, and that can be a different life, but we really want to help the communities through hemp production. So working with some companies, fiber companies, plastic companies, on making houses made from hemp and plastic biodegradable items, to be working with companies to be able to replace, straws, plastic bottles made out of hemp, plastic goods made out of hemp, all through the foundation. So with the billion-dollar industry that is coming with just CBD alone, there's over 50,000 uses for hemp.
Wow.
Meaning that it's very sustainable because the plant grows it only takes 6 to 12 weeks to grow. Meaning that trees, we could stop eliminating cutting down trees completely, and we can make paper, plastic. I mean, literally look around in your room. Even your walls can be made out of hemp. And so we can start really constructing our world a lot differently than how we have. And I really want to be a part of that movement. I'm only 31 years old, so I really do predict by the time I do die that I will be leaving this planet a lot more sustainable. And when people are like, oh, you're in that green movement, because, you know, a lot of the generation that really doesn't like the green movement is a lot of the older generation, because they are dependent on oil. They are dependent on biofuels and those kind of things, which I understand, because it's like that's how they've made money, so they don't want to see it stripped away from them. But as a conscious entrepreneur, I'm like, okay, well, let's start implementing these new things. Let you be the first one to market it, so that you could be a part of that movement and you can still have a sustainable lifestyle inside of that industry. So where I project to go is just helping that billion-dollar industry really be able to give back to the world that's been able to give so much to us. And that's where I kind of foresee that. You know, I want to be a part of the whole industry as a whole. So I've just been focusing on my 501(c)(3). I've been focusing on still raising money for that. And, you know, anything you purchase with Jordan or me, you're going to be able to, a portion of those proceeds goes actually to that foundation. So you get to be a part of that with buying your CBD products, which is huge.
That's super amazing. And like, honestly, Ceally, you never cease to amaze me on what you have going on.
Well, I appreciate that. I still surprise myself from time to time. I wake up and I'm like, did I really do that yesterday? Good. Okay. All right. What's next? You know, so I appreciate that. Thank you for the compliment.
You're welcome. Bigger and bigger.
Well,
and like,
one way.
like not on a marketing agencies, for a marketing standpoint, what she's talking about is like incredible. For any kind of business, any kind of person to really thrive, it's all about adapting and pivoting to what's going on in the world. So CBD becoming a billion-dollar industry is like proof for itself, saying, hey, you should probably at least give it a look to really think about what's going on with this company.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And actually what he just said, I'm going to spin off on that. It's free to look at. So you don't have to invest into anything. It's free to completely look at. We have 4 videos that you can watch where we talk about getting started, behind the products, our mission statement, and then meeting the owners. But then we talk about how you could be a part of that. And again, Jordan doesn't have to be a Ceally to be a part of that. I don't have to be a Jordan. You know, I am me, he is him, and the differences are okay. We have people from all walks of life. We have people from Africa, Australia, Canada, Europe, I mean, Guam. I mean, you name it. We have people all over the world that are tapping into this for free to look at. And we do have a free option. And then we do have other options if you want to dive into that more. But it's absolutely free to look at. And an added bonus is when you look at it for free, we give you a free temporary position. So you could check it out for 30 days to see if it's a good fit for you. And then if you decide that, you know what, I'm going to try the product, we give you 60 days. So essentially we give you 90 days to feel us out. And if it's a good fit for you, great. We can't wait to partner up with you. And with that, not only do you get to work with Jordan, but you also get to work with me as a coach for free. You don't have to pay. So typically my packaging for coaching, our 6-month program for coaching with me is $4,200. So you get that coaching for free with me when you join this business. So that's another added bonus, is a lot of people think that they get into something like this and then they're just all alone, which I understand. I've been in business opportunities where, you know, you do sign up and then you're excited and then you're like, okay, hello? And that's not how it happens with us over here. We're very, very involved. We have a really great community. We get together 2 to 3 times a year. I do masterminds. I'm going to be actually having a mastermind here at my home in this upcoming 2020, hopefully. We were going to be doing it in April, and that got pushed back, so I haven't rescheduled that yet. But I do have a wellness mastermind that we're doing in August in Las Vegas. And then we have it's Manifest 2020. It's our big convention. where we have lots of speakers, lots of speakers. So this year we're doing John Maxwell, which I'm not sure if you know who John Maxwell is, but
awesome.
He's going to be one of our keynote speakers. And then, oh man, I'm going to have to look him up. I forget his name. I always forget his name, and I don't know why I forget his name. He's the MC of, or the, what is his name? I'm going to have to look it up.
The MC of
hip hop, or not hip hop. It's right here. Hold on. I can read his name because I had to look it up. So Eric Thomas.
Okay, I thought you were talking about
that. Yeah. I was like, I know, what is his name? So, you know, so we have these great keynote speakers that not only help you within your current realm of business, but it helps you with your mindset. So these are like a very immersive, experienced conventions, and they're life-changing. Most people that come out of these conventions, I mean, from a year of difference from showing up, I mean, completely different people in like huge momentum. Not just with their success, but just with who they are as a person. And that's where I really kind of feel that this company is really doing more than just join our company and be a part of the opportunity and just buy our products. Like, we're inviting you to work on yourself, and we're meeting you where you're at and not being judgmental, you know, no matter where you're at. And I think that's amazing that the opportunity is offering that. Like, what other company are you going to go work with that is going to invest so much into who you are?
Yeah.
I don't know of any other company. I've never been with another part of a company that does that. So yeah, it's just it's a way different atmosphere, and it's definitely very sexy right now.
It's life-changing. Like,
life-changing, definitely.
There is no other companies out there that's going to have even jobs, how you pay for uniforms and background checks and everything else, and training sometimes to be a part of that. And this is the opportunity to really, you know, grow with amazing people like Ceally, myself, and countless others, but also have like support and help while you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Spot on. Yeah. And, you know, we do train you. We do walk you through. You do have a coach. You have us. You know what I mean? So and the biggest thing is it's the community. You're going to meet people that you were like, why didn't I do this sooner? These are people that are just on the same page with me. You know, even though they're in their different part of their journey, it just kind of bring things together. Cause you know, like, I own a consulting firm, I own a meal prepping company, and now I'm going to start owning a coaching brand and a community brand. So all of these things that have happened, when it really comes down to it, it's about the community. It's about that fulfillment when you wake up and you've got people calling you that you just understand, and you feel like for the people that, you know, grow up and maybe you don't really align with your family, if you really want to find your family, this is one area you can find a family. Like, I have found probably more people that I trust in this community than I do my own family.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's been powerful, very much so.
Yep, your vibe will find your tribe by doing what you love to do, helping other people is how you do that. So how I found Ceally, by, you know, find people who have the same kind of methodologies and speaking patterns that I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where can they find out more about this opportunity?
So my best suggestion is to get with Jordan, because he has the links to be able to do that. You're more than welcome to message me directly, but typically when people message me, the first question I always ask is, how did you hear about me? Because I have a lot of people that refer people to me. And, you know, me and Jordan are partners, and not only are we partners, but we're friends first. We became friends before we even decided to be partners. But Jordan decided he really wanted to be a part of this community. So if you want any more information, definitely reach out to Jordan, and he can give you the proper links to be able to either, if you say, I want to purchase product as a customer, Jordan has a link for that. If you say, Jordan, I really want to be a part of you and Ceally's team, then he's got a link for that too. If you do reach out to me directly, all I ask is that, hey, before I even have to ask you, just say, hey, I saw you and Jordan's podcast or interview, so that I know exactly where you're coming from. Because like I said, I've got a lot of things out there. So sometimes people have seen old interviews and I'm no longer that person anymore. And they'll be talking to me in that language. And I'm like, okay, where did you hear from me? Or like, where did you, so help me and you both out by just telling me where you heard from me or where you got the information from. But Jordan definitely has the ability to be able to get you on that path. Now, when it comes to getting you kind of in the coaching side of it, he'll put you in a group message with me and you so that me and Jordan can both have that communication with you. We'll jump on a call and we'll get to know each other.
Definitely. And then do you have you had an opportunity right now to talk to the whole world at large? What do you say to them?
Be kind to yourself. You don't have to have it figured out overnight. As long as you're getting up and you're making an effort, whether it be small or big, that you should give yourself gratitude in those moments. Life is too short to be angry or to hold animosity towards any others, including yourself. And that's the one thing that I've seen is the biggest person that's holding you back is you. Mm-hmm. So when I say that, a lot of people think that they have to wake up and go run a 10 mile, a marathon to be successful. If you get up and you made your bed and that's all you did, that's a win. Mm-hmm. I understand what it feels like to have anxiety and depression and to let life just really throw you down. But it's what you do in those moments. So, if I could say one message is just be kind to yourself.
I love that. And where can I find you at?
They can find me on social media platforms. So Ceally Smith, Ceally Smith. I'm the only Ceally Smith you'll ever meet. There's not another Ceally Smith on the internet. It's even spelled very uniquely. So if you search me on Google, I've probably been on over 500 different articles, been picked up from 500 different types of news stations. There's a lot of endless energy out there about me. So you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok. Just got up on TikTok. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and in LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn too. So those are the platforms that I'm on right now. But who knows what will come out in the future, right?
Mm-hmm. So you're definitely one of a kind. I'm super honored to have the honor to talk to you finally one-on-one. I'll also have all the links down below for you too. I'll have to pop up so you can see that too. And one last message for you, like she was saying, life is not some race. You're more than enough right now in this very moment. You're whatever you want right now. Not when you are more successful or have the ideal partner. Right now in this very moment. So let this opportunity be the chance for you to really be empower other people at the same time. Because you deserve the life that you want.
Oh, I love that, Jordan. You're awesome.
Likewise. Thank you all for being here. Thank you again, Ceally, for being here with me too.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks, Jordan. And talk to you guys soon.
See ya.